Hello and welcome to Mr. Adelman's fantastic geometry class. Today we're going to touch upon conditional statements. Conditional statements are any statement that can be written in the form if-then. That doesn't necessarily mean they are always written in the if-then form, but they can be written in that form. An example is from the song, "If I had $1,000,000, then I would buy you an exotic pet." So if you notice, we have our if, and then we have our then statement. So this makes this a conditional statement. And what we're going to do with this is we are going to identify the hypothesis and the conclusion. Now, of course, you've probably heard these words before. The hypothesis, you've probably heard in probably a science class, where conclusion, you may have heard in a science class, or maybe an English class of some sort. But we're going to talk about them in terms of math, more specifically geometry. Yeah. But it doesn't always necessarily apply to just geometry or math. It is a element of logic. So let's take a quick look at our example. The hypothesis this is going to be the if part of the statement, or if portion. I certainly hope that's spelled right. And what we can do is we can underline the hypothesis. Now, notice I'm underlining I had $1,000,000. I am not underlining the if. The if is not part of the hypothesis. So if I was to write down what the hypothesis is, it is I had $1,000,000. And let's take a look at our conclusion. Our conclusion is what happens when the hypothesis comes true. So this is the then portion of the sentence. I'm going to circle the conclusion. Again, notice I am not circling the then. The then is not part of the conclusion. So the conclusion is I would buy you an exotic pet. So that is really all you have to do when you're asked to identify the hypothesis and conclusion. You're taking the first statement after the if and before the comma for the hypothesis, and for the conclusion, you're just getting the what would come after the then and to the end of the sentence. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Take care of yourself and each other. Goodbye.